don't suppose you've ever live streamed before, right?
What?
I don't suppose you've ever live streamed before, right? So I'm trying to figure out if this is sideways. I'm like, how do I make this thing go into landscape mode rather than portrait? I'll figure it out later. Let's see here.
Do you want to test it?
Well, I'm live right now, but I think it's sideways. I'll check on my iPhone. Sorry?
Where are you streaming from?
Instagram. I'll try to check on my other phone.
My middle name is Abby. I'm right now.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the McKinney Forum. We are going to ask, and I apologize if everyone's sitting already, but we are going to ask if the candidates can come and sit in the first two rows just to make it easy. Sorry, I know, sorry for kicking you out. I know. I'm so sorry. All right, as you guys are moving, my name is Jessica Bartnick. I will be your MC this evening. Tonight is your opportunity to listen to all of these school boards, city council, and Collin College candidates who are on the ballot in McKinney, and to hear their views on issues that matter to you. Before we begin tonight, I would like to remind everyone to please turn off all of your cell phones. If you have iPads, whatever you do that you listen to, please turn them off to respect everyone speaking this evening. I would like to also thank our Collin County Constable, Matt Carpenter, who's here. He's attending today. He's acting as our sergeant at arms. Matt has attended almost every single forum that we've had in Collin County, and he has gone above and beyond to help make sure that we have, hopefully, continue to have this evening a peaceful night, because I really want to make sure that they're bored, okay? So let's keep them bored. So with that said, I would like to welcome up Adam Missouri to begin us with a prayer.
Thank you, Jay. All right. What does God say about voting and elections? Some people of faith say that we should stay above politics. That can be tempting to conservatives because it feels easier in the moment, the path of least resistance. In the state of cancel culture and 24/7 mudslinging on social media and in news coverage, we are a nation that feels more divided and divisive than ever. It is understandable that good people want to sit on the sidelines and keep to themselves. The resulting apathy leads to abysmal voter turnout, and that's something that we experience here in Collin County. And as Plato noted, one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. The result? Degradation to parental rights, loss of free speech, child gender mutilation, loss of medical freedom, the list goes on. The Bible makes clear that despite the stigma often associated with politics, God calls and uses political leaders. God calls each of us to participate. Referring to Matthew, as the salt of the earth and the light of the world, the flourishing of our world is in part our responsibility. If I am the only light in a dark room, its darkness is my fault. Caring for our culture and engaging in political processes is part of good citizenship. So, as we steamroll towards Election Day, we must make certain that we are not serving our own self-interest, but we are serving our highest authority, God. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, we pray as grateful citizens of Collin County. We give thanks to these citizens of a country that we boldly claim to be one nation under you, God. We pray asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we kick off tonight's candidate forum. We pray for our neighbors in this room that are bold and brave enough to step forward as candidates. And we pray that the voters in this room and beyond are able to support and elect the best citizens for the job. Tonight, let us listen and collaborate with open minds and good intentions. Father, we pray that our efforts will reinforce your will as we seek to conserve the values and principles that grant us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We give thanks to you for the days that have passed, for today, and for the journey ahead. Amen. Amen.
Okay, now we're going to do our pledges. So if everyone would please stand with me. I would like to first welcome, we have some amazing young men from the TPUSA Prosper chapter here tonight. If you would please say your name.
I'm Landon Downs, going to Prosper High School. I'm Cooper Covington, going to Prosper High School.
And these adorable young ladies who are here to say, just help us, you say your name too.
I'm Maddie. Lucy.
I'm going to give this to you guys. If you want to come together, and please.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I want a hand for these great young ladies. Okay, so now let's get the party started. All right, we have a wonderful basket for donations out in the lobby. We are going to do some great things with those donations. One, we're going to put on this forum. And if you could help us cover the cost of that by making a donation, we would really appreciate it. There is no dollar amount too small. If you just have a dollar bill in your pocket, that would also help us. So please put $1 in the basket, $20 in the basket. I would also like to make sure that we let everyone know that we have invited every single candidate to this forum this evening. We have extended the offer. I think it's important to note that there is a McKinney City Council meeting this evening as well. So, would also like to thank our sponsor, Prodeo Realty. Derek Baker helped us sponsor this event, so thank you to our sponsors. All of these amazing groups have supported the forums this election season. So just a big thank you to all of these. I'm not going to say all the names because there's a lot of them, but I'm going to leave it up there for you so you can see it for a second. So as we move forward, We are volunteer political organizations dedicated to the informed and responsible participation of citizens in government. And if you're not a member of any of these groups, join them. Become a member. Get involved. That's your duty as a citizen. So as we move forward into the questions, I realize that many of the people in the audience tonight may be fiercely partisan. However, I will insist that the candidates and the audience treat each other with respect. Personal attacks will not be allowed this evening. It is the job of the audience to listen. We ask that you all listen respectfully to each candidate's answers. And in the interest of time, please hold applause to the end. And you can make your statement when you go and vote. So, we will have Collin College first, obviously. Then we will do City Council, and then we'll move on to the school board. So I would like to bring up our moderators. We have Mr. Derek Baker and Mr. Jim Pickle.
All right, hi, my name is Jim Pickle. Wait, my name is Derek Baker. Welcome. I'll just say real quick, there's a lot, I've done, countless forums over the last 30 years. And, sometimes candidates don't actually show up. And you guys must have heard what happens to candidates that don't show up and what we say about them. So we appreciate you being here. In fact, I do appreciate the candidates for Collin College because actually this is not just the first forum they've been to. They've been to a number of forums across the county. We appreciate you. So we're not going to have as long of questions with them because there's so many, but this is our format for tonight. As you can see, we do have a lot of candidates, 8 just for the Collin College. We're going to have a 2-minute opening statement for each race, and then for each question we ask them, we'll do 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds. Where's my time keep? There you go. Thank you very much. And you'll need to pay attention to her because she has a yellow card and a red card. When she holds up the yellow card, that means you have 30 seconds left. And the red card means, please stop talking. I will be very diligent in holding you to that, so don't make me cut you off, because it's fun for me. And there are no gotcha questions. In fact, no candidate knows any of the questions. And we've held them close to the chest, but I don't think there's any gotcha questions. They're legitimate questions. We're trying to find differentiation and differences between the candidates, so you can make an informed decision. We'll be very strict on the time limits. We talked about that. And then there's typically going to be a round of questions, depending on the race, anywhere from 1 to 6. And then we're going to have a lightning round, if you've heard of those. The lightning round is yes, no, or pass. They're not intended for gotcha, so if you don't like to say yes, no, or pass, don't try to explain. Hang out and talk to these guys after the fact, and you can explain what your answer is. But if you say, well, I'm just going to cut you off. So with that, let's get into the questions. You can see there's a number of races that we have. 8 candidates, 3 different races. And I think is place 1 down at the end? Okay, place. Oh, you guys are in order. Thank you so much. That helps me. Awesome. Okay. So place 1, place 2, and place 3 of Collin College trustees. In fact, we're in the boardroom. You don't see the dais on the other side, but this is one of the boardrooms. And we'll start with Mr. Moses down in the end, just to make it simple. And we're going to have a 2-minute introduction for each candidate. Before Mr. Moses starts, I'll just remind you of this. Remember, these guys are not running all against one another. So when they answer, just make note of their tint cards and say, oh, these 2, you can see who they're running against, and just compare the answers and responses of each. Just a real reminder. With that, Mr. Moses, 2 minutes to start. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank Collin Conservative Club for having this forum. Thank you for being here. I'm Fred Moses, and I've been serving on the college board for the last 6 years. I'm very passionate about the college. I have about 50 years ago, I graduated from a community college. Community college gave me a second chance in life. And so that's what I think the value of our college is here in Collin County. I got on the Collin board, I ran for it. They paid very well. As a business owner, I'm really passionate about us, the college providing relative training for our businesses, and so that's real important. My business has been in business 38 years, and so that's real important. I've served in a number of capacities in the county. I've been in the county 43 years, almost a Texan. Almost. But anyway, we're very pleased to be here, and I've gotten recognition from the college and everybody for the work of serving and the devotion that I have. My former wife, Maisie, had for this college, and we continue to do that. And being a trustee on the board, this gives me another opportunity to keep us grounded and keep us relevant, keep us more so than anything, providing great students and great opportunities for people like me. We call us in our former life diamonds in the rough, and I've done pretty well. Thank you very much. Fred Moses.
Brother, friend, and I have a lot in common, actually. And I laughed because he was joking that he's almost a Texan now. And what I tell people is I wasn't born a Texan, but I got here as soon as I could. My name is Megan Wallace. I'm running for place 1 in the Collin College Board of Trustees. My family moved to Collin County in 2011 to grow our business. I served for a time as the chief financial officer for that business until it was acquired in 2019 as part of a multi-million-dollar acquisition. I decided after that to throw myself in community service. I serve in the PTO at my son's school in McKinney ISD. I'm the literacy library head there. I also serve at the community food pantry in McKinney. I'm a shift lead volunteer over there. And then I decided, you know what? I could do more. So I decided last year to go back to school at Collin College. To shift gears, I'm studying the law, and it was my experience as a student that led me to seek out an opportunity to serve the school that I love so much. As a student, I feel like I have a special opportunity to serve as someone who has relevant current experience in the classroom and on campuses. I'm at 3 different campuses all week long, and I feel like that could be a really a big plus to have me on the board and be that voice for our students. My goals as trustee would be to make sure that our college-bound Collin County High School students that are graduating, that they would graduate with dual credit. We should graduate every student with as much dual credit as we can, because our parents need the break. Our parents need the break in the ever-rising cost of higher education. And so I would like to see us really expand in those areas and make sure we're working with every student in this county. Thank you.
Hey everybody, it's great to see y'all. I'm Scott Coleman. I'm running for place 2, and I'm a lifelong DFW resident, and I've been in Collin County for 13 years. I am a former corporate attorney and business owner. I got my JD from Texas Tech and my MBA from Texas Tech as well. But for the past 13 years, I've been a public school educator. I've been a social studies teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, director of academics, head of HR, and some other roles that are not quite as important that I've done. So I've kind of done it all in public education, and that's the number one reason I'm running for the seat, is because I'm super passionate about public education. I love that public education with my heart and soul, and we really need somebody in place 2 who's active and who's experienced. There's a couple of reasons why I'm running in addition to my passion for education. One, Megan mentioned dual credit. I see some people who might be parents in the audience and some students. Are y'all familiar with dual credit in your high schools? So y'all are actually paying a little more in dual credit than I think you should. If you looked at your tax bill, you know that you pay a Collin College tax and you pay an IC tax. But the Collin College is actually charging the ICs for dual credit. And in Dallas County, that isn't happening. It's only happening here in Collin County. And so basically you're being double taxed, and I'd like to change that and reduce your fees that you pay in dual credit so that you pay less, because I want it to be open for everybody, not just a few people. The second reason, and I'm glad the invocation mentioned free speech. Violating someone's free speech rights isn't just the wrong thing to do. It actually happens to be quite expensive. And for Collin College, it has cost the Collin College $1 million and counting in settlements and lawsuits and paying lawyers. Nothing against lawyers, I used to be one. But paying lawyers and settlements for violations of free speech. The problem is that the incumbent in place 2 hasn't done anything about that. There hasn't been any action taken. And the longer we go on with lawsuits and free speech being violated, the more money it's going to cost us. And so I want to turn that around. I'd like to change that. I understand that if we do keep doing the same thing over and over again, the same thing is going to happen. And I'd like to work with the administration and the rest of the board, who I think is committed to changing that. And I want to change that as well. So thank you so much for coming. I'm Scott Coleman, Place 2.
Good afternoon, my name is Jay Sad. I'm presently in Place 2. And the $1 million comment, there is no $1 million payout. We have had 2 settlements, we had to pay our deductibles. And that's what we do with insurance. We buy an insurance policy to pay off that mistake or for those issues, and then we go forward from there. That's all it is. Now, the problem is that when I'm running, we got a great college here. Most people don't even know what a great college we have. We have 67,000 students. We have the lowest tuition in the state of Texas. And we have the second lowest tax rate. That means it's great for our students to come on and get an opportunity to get hours, as you mentioned, dual credits. We can take advantage of that. Our students can get ahead and get ready for when they go out on a 4-year college. We also have one of the highest success ratios, meaning students transfer from one college to another college, and we've had the highest success ratio. So again, we're doing well in our college. Why am I participating in it? My kids have all grown up. They've already graduated from college. I understand the importance of a financially sound education. In today's world, when somebody goes out and graduating from college or even attending college, and they're $39,000 in debt. That's not just a few people, there's 43 million Americans that are that far in debt. So when we talk about tuition and controlling costs, that's why I'm participating in it, and I'll continue to focus on those things, and I'll continue to look out for you, the customers, who are ultimately the ones who are going to be making the decisions. Thank you.
Hello, I am, just have to check every now and then. Let's see, quick interesting background. Been around here for a long time. Sorry? Okay. Been around for a long time. Went through UT system, bachelor's, master's, taught down Dallas ISD, teaching up here now. I kind of live in a world of CNE, felony. And that's pretty much what I try to do where I go. And I learned, while playing the Army and other places, that you can only have one priority. And from what I've seen, the college's #1 priority has to be students. And when we get into playing all sorts of other games, of this, that, whatever, we take the eye off the prize. And if you take your eye off the prize, it's like driving down the road riding a bicycle. You're going to go where you're looking. You look in the ditch, that's where you go. Look in the other lane, watch what the other people do, that's where you go. So my focus is with students and for students is to keep the path clear ahead and be there for the students, make sure the schools are for the students. I think it has some admin issues, excellent education, excellent other faculty I work with. I think on the admin level it can do some work, and that's our mind. So I was even joking with the kids today, but what promises I should make. And we come up to a good conclusion. It was I should offer free pizza on every day, ending with a Y. So I figured I do my campaign for others. Good, all good. I'll try to keep you entertained if nothing else. Thanks.
I'm Kathy Alexander. I'm running for Place 3 at Collin College. It's nice to see so many familiar faces in a full room. This is lovely. Thank you for coming out. I started my higher education experience down at the UT Austin campus. I worked in the Macomb School of Business, and I was there for a number of years before I transferred up to UT Dallas and was assistant dean of undergraduate education. I loved working with the students, and we were laughing because of the technical problem that they had a technical problem, and I said, I don't know how to do that, because it was always the students that came in and fixed everything that I broke. But I guess my background lends itself to more for the student than anything else. I want to make sure that they receive the knowledge that they need from our faculty and staff that will allow them to develop wisdom. Because wisdom doesn't come without knowledge. And that's my focus, is I want to make sure that we do what we can for
for the students, the high school students, the homeschool students, and our college students to gain the knowledge they need to develop the wisdom they need to take forward into their careers. I'm big into workforce. I had a group of scholars when I was at UT Dallas. I was on the admissions committee and ended up with a group of students that were non-traditional. And I think sometimes having a workforce option to allow individuals to be certified with a opportunity to have a family. They earn enough money to have a family in the future. So I'm Kathy Alexander. I'm in place 3 for Collin College.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. I'm Dr. Stacey Donald, and I'm the incumbent in place 3 on the board. And I'm a community college baby myself. My mother taught nursing in Amarillo in the Texas Panhandle, and I went to community college there. So it's kind of always been in our family, always been in the blood that community college is a great way to get started in life. And I've been in higher education my whole life. I got my bachelor's, my master's, and my PhD from the University of Texas at Dallas, and I always wondered how we crossed paths at some point and didn't know it. And from there, I have been a literature professor, part-time, full-time, online, on-site, hybrid. I was around for some of Collin College's first online classes, and it's been exciting to see a lot of the new innovations that have developed as college has developed along with online classes. And I've gotten to see so much of how we have used that, especially when COVID came along and we had to shift so much in education. I've enjoyed being on the board so much because it's kind of a relief when you get behind the dais to be able to just focus on what is the best thing for the college and what is the best thing for the community. And nothing else really matters when we get back there. It is all for the students, the faculty and staff, and the greater community. And when everyone is doing well, we are only going to get better as a county and as a community. So things like when we got a pay raise for our police force, that was a big thing because we want our Collin College police force to be able to afford to live here with us. When we got paid family leave so that we have more loyalty from our faculty so that they'll stay here longer with us so we don't have to spend more money training new faculty. Those are the kind of things.
All right, we have a red. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Thanks so much.
Good evening. My name is Joe Minasali, and I appreciate you all coming here tonight. I am a businessman / volunteer in the city of McKinney for the last decade or so, and I was asked to run because of the skills and leadership and commitment to the community, to education that I've shown over the last decade. If you go to my website, joeforcollincollege.com, you'll learn a lot more about what I've been doing for the last decade or so and see why I was asked by people at the college and people in the city of McKinney to run for this position. I've served the last 5.5 years on your McKinney EDC board. I was appointed by 3 different city councils to do so after serving as the Chamber of Commerce board chair. I've also been hospital president at Methodist McKinney Hospital for about 11 years before moving over to a hospital in Plano. And so I was asked to run, and I think, as you said when you started, when we're called to serve, we have to answer that call. And what more important thing than to affect the ability for students to get the education they need to make a nice wage to sustain themselves and their family. I can't think of a better calling where I can make a better impact, use my passion and my skills. Obviously, I told you my resume a minute ago. I've been chosen for multiple important roles and given a lot of responsibility because of my expertise in leadership. I'm also very passionate about this, and I just want to honor that and do my best to serve you. Thank you.
Well timed, Mr. Misali, and we'll start with you as we go through the questions. So we have 3 places in Collin College. What I'm going to do for them is ask each race one question. The question's going to be different. It's not targeted to you or any particular person. It's literally random. We're going to start with you, Mr. Misali, and let's see what I have on my docket here. 2 minutes for these. Please explain your position on annual funding needs versus your responsibility to taxpayers to maintain a reasonable and affordable rate at the college. I'm going to just say it one more time. Please explain your position on annual funding needs versus your responsibility to taxpayers to maintain a reasonable and affordable tax rate for the college.
Great question. I spent about 20 years of my career as a hospital CFO, division CFO. I understand budgets. I ask the hard questions in the EDC closed sessions when we're asked, do we want to fund this project or not for your city? I'm the one that's was the finance chair or the finance committee chair for the EDC board. Why? Because I ask the hard questions. I believe that we need to make sure we respect the taxpayer money and are good stewards. I believe there's always opportunities to find savings and innovative solutions. Spending more money as a hospital president of a for-profit hospital, spending more money doesn't solve problems. Being creative and a good steward of it does. So I believe we have to make sure we keep the tax rate the lowest in the state for Collin College. And I believe we can continue to do as the incumbents have done and have great outcomes while doing that. So I don't believe we have to sacrifice the taxpayers' dollars or compromise education. I think we just have to be really good leaders and innovative. And I've done that. Again, I would ask you to look at my website, because we can all give you the best answers all night, but what have we done for the last 10 years? What have we done for the last 20 years? You know, if you look at my Facebook or LinkedIn page, you'll see who I'm friends with, and you know those people, and ask them about me. So it's not whether I can sound real persuasive and charismatic tonight. It's what have you done? Do people trust you with their money? They trust me.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Donald, a minute and a half. Let me know if anyone wants me to repeat that question.
No, got it. Thank you. So, Dr. Donald, and that is a great question. The college operates on, well, this year for the 22-23 year, our budget was just a hair under $1/3 billion. So we manage a big budget. It's a big job, and we haven't raised the tax rate in the last 3 years. So 23, 22, 21, our tax rate's been the same. It's been 0.08122 and then some more numbers. But it is the second lowest in the state, and we are just a little bit under 5% of the property taxes that come out. So if you look at like a pie chart, you know, a big bunch of it is ISD, then you have your city, then you have your county, and we are just a little bit under 5%. We're about 4.8. So we're just a little tiny piece of the pie. And we've been doing pretty great with that little tiny piece of the pie, and we've been not making our piece of the pie bigger. And look at what we've done with it. In the last 6 years that I've been on the board, we have built 4 new campuses with a $600 million bond that we voted in at the same time that I got elected. Your taxes have not risen, and we've been steadily paying towards that bond, and we've gotten fantastic interest rates on it. Our funding formula is with the Texas legislature this year, and is looking to change substantially for the first time in 40 years. And so that is going to make a change, but it doesn't look like it is going to be a change that is going to cause a tax increase. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So next question for our place two folks. Do we have this? Yep. Oh no, I'm sorry. This I know. Miss Alexander's in place 3. I apologize. Thanks so much.
Well, you guys know effective tax rate, does that ring a bell to you? We have it in Plano, and what happens is the effective tax rate looks at our budget and then projects the increase in your property value, and then they set the tax rate. So the tax rate may not have gone up for you, but if your property values went up, what happened to your taxes that you owed? They went up as well, right? So my idea would be to explore the idea of an effective tax rate for Collin College.
My apologies, Kathy. Thanks so much. Now, place 2. We have a different question for you. What is your opinion of free speech zones on campus, of instituting specific free speech zones on campus to protect students from offensive or hateful speech campus-wide? I'm going to ask that question again. What is your opinion of instituting specific free speech zones on campus to protect students from offensive or hateful speech campus-wide? And yes, we'll start with you.
Of all the problems we have, this is probably one of the most make-believe. Now that's good.
I'm going to interject just for a second because I made up these questions and I've done this for about 10 years. Over 30 campuses in the United States have actually instituted free speech zones. You can continue.
Okay, my question, my answer, right? Okay. What I've seen this is a make-believe problem. Now, the nice thing about make-believe problems is we can make-believe answers. So they're easy to cure. What do you want to do with kids that talk? Kids talk. I love talking in class. I want to help teach the class. I want to hear what kids have to say. It's how you learn, and you can't teach if you don't learn first. And to learn, you must listen. 2 ears, 1 mouth, good ratio. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jay speaking again. We do have some locations where people can come in and speak and voice their different opinions. It's not in the middle of the campus. You can't walk into my campus and yell fire. We have to protect our people and our students and our staff from that kind of behavior. So when we start focusing on people being able to speak, words don't hurt you. It's when people do physical things to you. So we need to protect our students. We have people where they can talk in their corners or in their group areas, but they cannot come to the buildings and start verbalizing or threatening or harming our students and our faculty. And that's what we protect. Thank you.
Well, I kind of did smile to myself when I heard about the free speech zone, because at Texas Tech, I had this memory, there was this pagoda at Texas Tech where there was a free speech zone, and I kind of smiled every time I went by, because nobody ever used it. In the entire 5 years, I always wish someone would stand there and say something, but no one ever did. But I think, the answer I have is that I think everywhere is, I'm kind of a free speech absolutist. I think everywhere should be a free speech zone. I don't think there should be a space designated for free speech. I think people should be able to say, anything they want, safety-wise, anywhere they please. And so I have this vision, this little pagoda about free speech, and everywhere else you can't speak and use your constitutional rights. I totally reject that. But back to this free speech issue, this is costing us money. It's costing you money. And it's already cost us $1 million. And I want to go back to this because in Frisco last week, my opponent said, well, this didn't actually cost us $1 million. It cost us $100,000. Well, even the settlement itself, if you read the lawsuit, the settlement has already cost $200,000. And I asked the opponent, let's see the budget. The interest for transparency. Let's see the numbers. Let's see what it actually costs. And we didn't see it. And so this is a big thing for the college. It's something that's really, really important. And if you vote for me, I guarantee you I'll take a side and I'll change it. I'll stand up for free speech. Thank you.
All right, one more question for place 1. This is different. What we're looking at is, what do you believe are the 3 most important functions of the Board of Trustees, and how do they differentiate from the staff and faculty? So I'm going to ask that question again. What are the 3 most important functions of the Board of Trustees, and how do you differentiate the role between staff and faculty?
That's a great question. Many of us are familiar with the chain of command, if you know what I'm saying. Whether you're in the military or you just worked at a job where there's a chain of command. Ideally, the Board of Trustees relies on its staff to bring budgets, to bring proposals, to bring issues. Ideally, what happens is the professionals who are doing the day-to-day work in those areas, who know it in and out, have an open line of communication with the board, that then we take those issues and we make decisions based off of the professional advice that we're given. So it's meant to work as decision makers who are answerable, truthfully, to the taxpayer. At the end of the day, the board is answerable to this community. The fact is, the Texas Comptroller says that for every taxpayer dollar we spend on community college education, the local economic return is $6.80. That means that $200 million or $300 million we quoted, it actually return is exponentially higher than that. So we're responsible to the taxpayer. And we have to rely, how it differs from staff and faculty? Well, staff and faculty, we're relying on them, their expertise, to bring issues to the board to help us make those decisions, because there's too many decisions to make without them. Thanks.
Question regarding the board and the staff. Basically, the board, we're the governing body. We hire the president. We approve the budget. But we also, one of the things that goes beyond that, as trustees, we have a fiduciary duty to watch out for the welfare of this institution. So that's really important in terms of a board. But the staff administration, they provide a great service. And I'm glad. I'm out in the community a lot. I've heard great feedback about our staff. Very. And I went to community college. It was very, that energized me to complete, go to community college and then go to a 4-year institution. So that's the day-to-day operation. The president, we will hire a president, and we expect him to carry out our policies, and that's what we do, and that's a great responsibility for us as trustees, and so I take that responsibility very lightly. I mean, not lightly, heavy. Well, anyway, as a little guy. But anyway, that's a great responsibility in terms of us, in terms of our role as governing body, trustees. And so, thank you very much.
All right, we have a lightning round coming up. There's going to be 5 questions for this lightning round. Now, one quick caveat. I've been in politics for about 35 years, and one of my pet peeves is in Texas. Did you know that Collin College trustees, ISD, and city council races are nonpartisan? I don't think there's any such thing as nonpartisan races, but that's how Texas does it. So there's a particular question about that, because there has been some questions. In fact, there was even a bill filed the last 3 cycles to make these actual partisan races going forward. So just an explanation about one of the questions on here. 5 questions, we're going to make it super simple. We're just going to start at one end, go down, and we'll start the next question and come right back. This is what we're looking for here is a yes, no, or a pass. Question 1, Mr. Moses, we'll start down with you. Should Collin College trustee elections allow for ballot declarations of party affiliation? Just what I asked. Should Collin College trustee elections allow for ballot declarations of party affiliation? Yes, no, or pass?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Indifferent?
Yes.
All right, you guys paying attention? Because we got some differences in the candidates, which is what we want. That's great. Okay, question 2. We're going to start right here. Do you oppose free speech zones for students on campus, and efforts to limit free speech. Do you oppose free speech zones for students on campus and efforts to limit free speech?
Pass.
Yes.
No.
Pass.
No.
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 Of course you can.
Yeah, no, you gotta be safe. Do you oppose free speech zones?
Yes, I oppose it. Thank you.
Okay. Question 3. This one's really fun. Will you oppose any effort to raise the Collin College tax rate during this next term if you're elected? Will you oppose any effort to raise the Collin College tax rate during this next term if you're elected?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Pass.
Yes.
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 All right, next question. It gets a little trickier. Did you know you can actually have the same tax rate and your taxes can go up? You guys paying attention? Okay, here we go. Will you, right here, will you vote to support a budget that adopts the effective tax rate for the college?
Yes.
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 Pass.
Yes.
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 Last question. Someone's going to get elected in each race. Pay attention if they actually adhere to that. Last one. Do you support free 2-year college tuition for anyone who wants to attend college? Mr. Moses, do you support free 2-year college tuition for anyone who wants to attend college?
No.
Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Yes.
No.
Yes, no, pass. Yeah, okay.
No.
Okay. I'm enlightened. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate that. Let's give them a closing statement and then send them on their way. So really good job. We'll start here. I think we started a closing statement of 1.5 minutes, and you can reference any of the questions or anything else you want. Sorry. Thank you so much.
Moderator, okay. One thing, on the list up there, you have my friend Jay, we served together. His name is Jay, not Fred. But, you know. I want to be like Jay. But be like you.
Good call, Fred.
Amen. We are
Right.
Jay,
good.
please forgive us for that. Thank you so much.
Fred and Fred.
Okay. No problem.
All right.
Too fine.
You're solid. You're so solid. Thank you so much.
So my name is Joe Minasali, and you should vote for me if you go to my website and check out who I really am and what I've done for the city of McKinney. I'm passionate about it. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to make a difference. I would prioritize, number one, including this increasing and improving the success rate of the students year over year. Collin College is number 1 in the state in that, and we should only strive to get better, because the most important thing is that these students get the education they need, the certificate, or the ability to go on to a 4-year school to get a wage and get the jobs we need them for right here. And as pro-business on the Chamber of Commerce, the EDC, and as a hospital president who hired a lot of these students, we need a trained workforce, so everybody wins. Collin College is a very valuable resource to us. You don't want to put it in anyone's hands. Put it in someone's hands who has led local business to 5 Best Place to Work awards in DFW. So I can help. I'll work for you if you'll have me. Thank you, and God bless.
Thanks, Joe. So I'm Dr. Stacey Donald, again, the incumbent in place 3, and you could just leave place 3 in the hands of somebody who's already won top best places to work for the last several years. Because we're already here, because we have a great board that has been very fiscally responsible. We've kept our tuition rate rate low. We've kept our tax rate low. We have built incredible new campuses. We've instituted 3 bachelor's degree programs that were desperately needed in the area. We've instituted a bunch of workforce programs that were also desperately needed in the area. Students aren't having to go over to Dallas County to take welding and HVAC and pay out-of-county prices. They can take them here now. Our district president and administration have been very sensitive and responsive to what are the business needs in this county and responded to them really quickly in terms of academic timelines, which are not quick, but we responded to them quickly. And I'm someone who likes to really pay attention to what's going on in the county. I volunteer with Big Brothers Big Sisters. I volunteer to teach in the GED program in the men's prison south of Dallas. I like to know the people in our community, what are the struggles in the community, and how can we raise everyone up so that everyone will do better. And I hope you'll go to stacyforcollin.com and learn more about me, and we'll keep doing what we're doing here.
For place 3. I suppose you probably don't need to know that I work in Kairos and that I facilitate a Bible study. And you guys do all that stuff too. I've been on boards and commissions, and about 90% of y'all done the same. I think what sets me just a toe ahead is my experience in higher education and looking at the problems that are being faced by administration and coming up with solutions for those problems. I was blessed to get to work with Dr. Collin at UT Dallas, and he used to say to me, come up with a solution, get it running, and then give it to somebody else. And that's sort of my frame of reference. I would like to visit the campuses, visit the faculty. I think that would be wise for us to hear from the people on the ground that are closest to the issues at hand, and then take them back to the board and build consensus with the board so that we can move forward. Again, my name is Kathy Alexander, and I'm running for place 3.
Hello again, Hilton, on the way out here shortly, so move too long. I already have the best job in the entire common system. I teach smart with the kids. Believe me, I'd much rather be doing that than arguing with a bunch of silly adults. And what I see so much of this stuff with the arguments of the silly adults, the reason they're arguing about the silly adults is they've taken their eye off the focus. The focus of the college can only say it. I'm a long-time Army instructor as well. It's important we say it 3 times. Only be the students. That's what it has to be. It can't be taxes. They're all important, yes. But, I mean, I went through my own budgets. I can cut my own budget in half. You don't got to worry about the taxes and budgets. You really don't. The order priorities of these things go in. One of the questions I wish I would have got was what are the 3 things the board should work on? This is from basic project management. I have $1 billion projects. The sequence and order must be statement of work, what you're doing first, what's your mission statement. Second, your schedule, how you plan your things and put together. Third, your budget. What do we spend most of the time up here talking about? Squabbling over money, like we're a bunch of silly nitwits. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Maybe. So there is some difference. You won't see that from me. It's going to be mission first, making it happen second. Third, we'll do the budget, make it work. It's not that complicated. Thanks. Hilton.
Thank you, good evening. Not trying to change anything here at Collin College. Like what I see, it's been a great college, and it's going to continue to be a great college. We have the lowest tuition in the state, the second lowest tax rate, the highest success ratio, and the second best financials in the state. So you can't have all that stuff positive and say that we're not doing the right job. We have 98% persistency of our full-time faculty. You've heard about faculty. We have 98% persistency. These are the kind of things we talk about. We are students. We graduated our students. 84% of them would say they would come back again and do it over. I go eat dinner, and half the time I don't even think I'm going to come back to this place again, 50% of the time. 84% of the time they're willing to come back and do this again. So Get involved, stay involved. Our college is great. We're going to continue to survive. And guess what? Vote for me, and I'm going to keep this college like it is. JSAD place 2.
Well, thanks so much for coming, everybody. I hope you've seen a contrast between my opponents and me today. It matters to your pocketbook, it matters to your reputation to have the right person with experience in education. And I guess it's good to disagree with the moderator at the end of the debate rather than at the beginning. I just totally reject this idea of the partisanship of education. When I'm serving a mom and when I'm serving a dad or a student or a teacher, I don't actually ask their political party. I don't do that before I help them. I had a mom the other day who was on her daughter's phone, and her daughter voiced suicidal ideations. I didn't give her a sheet of paper and say, choose which political party you are before I help you. I helped her and I helped her daughter, and that's what I'm going to do. So, I just totally reject this idea that we have to have a political party in education, because that's not what I do. So if you're looking for somebody who will serve you and not a political party, then I'm your person. I think my family is like your family, my school is like your family. A third are Republican, a third are Democrat, a third can't stand either party whatsoever. All right? So if you elect me, I'm going to serve you. I'm not going to ask you what your color is, what your religion is. I'm not going to ask you political party because I don't care about that. I'm going to serve you, and I'm going to respect your taxpayer money and your commitment to education. So thanks so much for being here, y'all, and I hope to see y'all soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you all for putting this together and for inviting us. Thank you guys for being here. And again, I'm Megan Wallace. I'm running for place 1 of the Collin College Board of Trustees. And what I want to leave you with is really my goal for the school is that it serves the community. It would be great if we could keep things the same, right? If we didn't have to change and everything would just keep going in the right direction. But Collin is changing. Collin is changing rapidly. And we have to get ahead of that change. We are growing, and we have to manage that growth. If we don't manage that growth, we will grow into a whole host of problems that will be behind the 8 ball and fixing. So we have to be thinking ahead. We have to be innovating. And one thing I haven't gotten an opportunity to talk about that's really, really important to me is teachers. Teachers, we need them, yes? We need them in our K through 12 schools. We need them trained. We cannot afford to pay them a whole host of money, but what we can do is we can get them an education locally. I want Collin College to offer an articulation agreement with a local university that gets teachers into a classroom in 4 years, with 2 of those years being in Collin, so that it's a straight 2-for-2 program and they're getting the most bang for their buck, and we're getting teachers into classrooms in our communities. That's very, very important to me, and I just never get to talk about it. So remember me if that sort of thing is important to you. Thanks.
Craig Moses, and I've been serving this community ever since I've been here in a lot of leadership roles, but most importantly, coming from a family of 10, and my father passed away at 5. I know how to be involved and not sit on the sideline and contribute. In these roles, we are service. We're serving students, we're serving the taxpayer, we're service. And so I think I know how to do that. A little guy like me, that's done that all my life, and so I do that. I'm a Sunday school teacher, and I minister at my church. But more importantly, serving here at Collin County in a lot of roles. And my wife and I, former wife, have gotten a lot of awards for the work we've done here at Collin County. We've done in education, whether it's here or across the country. And so I want to continue. That's why I'm here. I'm here because as a person that gave me a second chance, and still working, and we're still very blessed. So as I go out this second term, hopefully you'll elect me second term. Pray for me. Pray for the work that we'll do good work for all of you, and for the students, and for the institution. Thank you very much. Pray for